Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Sean Nicol on the line, and he's the Vice President of Investments over at Pacific Capital Resource Group. Sean, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate you having me on.
So I'm excited to get more into what you're doing over at Pacific Capital Resource Group. But before we do that, let's get a little bit further into your background. So how'd you get started in your career and in business?
Sure. Yeah. So I actually started my, I guess you'd call it a work career in baseball. I was drafted in 2009 to the Washington Nationals and played through the farm system with them for about 6 seasons. As I was kind of coming to an end and as I was getting higher, talking with some of my teammates and obviously some guys that were making some good money, I realized, they didn't really know where to put their money or what to do with their money, how to budget. Other stories as well was, on the flip side of kind of being taken advantage of as well. And so it kind of piqued my interest. In college, I had a finance degree, but just piqued my interest. And man, I feel like I could really help. And it was that coupled with I had some family hardships as well that I felt like, man, if they just had the right plan in place, things could be completely different. And so when I retired in 2014, that's really what got me started and in the direction of getting into the financial industry.
Man, I love that. I love when it's really need driven, meaning you see something different there. You see a group that you can help that are either, let's say underrepresented in financial services. And then I also like the fact that you're an athlete. So, I always feel like athletes, they just do better in some of these roles because they're used to the pressure. They're used to some of those ups and downs that inherently come with the position. Not an easy seat to occupy at all. That being said, you're many years into your career now, long way since your professional baseball career. That being said, there's some entrepreneurs and maybe some fresh college grads that are out there that are thinking about making a career in financial services. What kind of advice would you give them, obviously having the benefit of some hindsight on your side now?
Yeah, I think the first piece of advice I'd give would definitely be you need to have a passion for this. You need to have a drive for what you're doing and wanting to help people in this aspect, because I think that's really going to drive, especially early on in your career, the direction you're going to take. And I think that is first and foremost the most important piece is why you're doing this and bringing the passion and the drive to do it. So that would be the first piece of advice that I have. Second piece of advice I would have is, beyond the passion is, man, you've got to stay focused. You're kind of in a business where you're building your own business, right? You're in an industry where you're essentially your own business owner, and what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So just know that the opportunity here is great. It's not an easy route by any means, but it is definitely the work you put in is the work you're going to see and benefit from. Which can lead to a great career. It's been great for me and my family, and I'm passionate about it. But those would be honestly the two main things that I think having someone start in this industry, the advice I would give.
That's awesome. Let's switch it up, Sean. I want to get into what you're doing over at Pacific Capital Resource Group. So first, tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Sure. Yeah. So Pacific Capital Resource Group, we were, we started in the late 90s. So been around a while. We've been growing like crazy, initially out of the Northwest and kind of Seattle, Bellevue area, and we're expanding obviously all throughout the West Coast currently. And what we do, the difference here, in my opinion, and why I really believe in what we're doing and what we're building here is we're really focusing on clients first, what their needs are, in building a comprehensive financial plan. In my previous experience, what I've seen far too often is, you have an investment person, you have an insurance person, you have you know, 7 different people that you turn to complete your financial plan. And here at Pacific Capital, one of the things that, one, I pride myself in, but two, how we're building our other advisors and how we're building our company is client first, with the mission to help people, but on the same token, a comprehensive financial plan where on our team, you know, we have all the resources and we have all the tools to truly help people, whether that's estate planning, right? Trust, wills, powers of attorney, making sure those are all correct, they were in place or even done. You'd be surprised how many people out there do not even have those in place as they're approaching retirement. So that's just one piece. Obviously, the investment side, making sure risk tolerance is there, understanding the markets and where they're at and sequence of returns. Those are big factors to play in on the investment side. The protection side, right? Asset protection. So we're looking at life insurance, disability insurance, long-term care, coupling that with healthcare costs. Income planning is another one we truly focus on, which is understanding what sources of income you have, right? With Social Security, if you're lucky enough in today's day to even have a pension still, right? But Social Security, pensions, if people have annuities set up, but what sources of income, and then helping people make decisions on when they should be pulling their Social Security, at what age, their annuities, how they should be selecting to take their annuities. Those types of things and those types of answers are what I think help drive us in helping our clients make the best decisions and actually do a comprehensive financial plan.
So is there any sweet spot in terms of client or type of clientele that Pacific Capital Resource Group likes to work with, so that if somebody's listening to this and they fall in that kind of category, they know that they'd be a good fit to give you guys a call?
Oh man, that's always a tough question because myself and the advisors, we all vary on I say what I would say would be our sweet spot, or the target market for what we're doing. Personally, I think it's for me, man. If I had to narrow it down, it would be I just want someone that truly wants to put the plan together, that is committed to their success and committed to the process. Whether you're 25 and starting out, or 65 and figuring out how am I going to retire and make all these decisions, what is truly important is having the plan in place. I mean, having an actual written retirement income plan, I think is the most important thing. And as I mentioned, whether it's at 25 or 65, it doesn't matter. My average age client is in the 60s, but we have advisors that have their average age client somewhere around the 30s. But simple terms, I would just say, look, if you're looking to essentially be committed to your success, committed to your plan, committed to retirement and reaching your goals, those are the types of clients that I look forward to working with and want to work with, because it just makes things so much easier. And I'm at a point in my career where, I want to work with people that I enjoy meeting with and enjoy just jumping in and having conversation and figuring out what is going on in their life outside of the financial world, right? What's happening with grandkids or vacations. I mean, that's personally for me who I'm looking for, is someone who finds the value in what we do and wants help.
That's awesome. And so, I know this is going to vary from client to client, obviously, and person to person, but I know after working with as many clients as you have worked with, certain themes arise. What do you think is one of the common reason or two why some people don't implement a comprehensive financial plan? Because it boggles my mind, so I like your opinion on it.
Hey, I'm with you. It boggles my mind too. I'm constantly asking myself that question every day. I see a number of things. I mean, one, everyone in some fashion or another has a financial advisor. And in our industry, it's tough, right? Because you want to make sure that you trust the person you're working with. But what I would say, kind of what I've concluded is a couple things. One is they feel like they've got things in place and don't want to essentially be told like, man, you should be doing this instead of this, or taking some other recommendations, right? And a lot of the times I think it just boils down to trust. That's, if I had to give you one answer, one common theme, it would just be trust in what you're doing. The second would be, I think people just get complacent, right? Us as human beings, where we kind of just get in this complacent, comfortable, don't like change, whether that's for the good or bad. And so to your point, sometimes it boggles my mind when I'm meeting with some clients and put together a plan that, I can show statistically, man, if you just made a couple different changes, it would significantly enhance your situation or significantly enhance what your goals are and how we're going to reach them. And sometimes they take the advice, sometimes they don't. So it boggles my mind a little bit too, but I think it ultimately comes down to trust. And I think it ultimately comes down to just us as humans not embracing change and accepting advice.
That's awesome. So, Sean, if somebody is listening to this and they want a second opinion or they just want to learn more about Pacific Capital Resource Group or what you do, what's the best route for them to follow up?
Sure. There's multiple routes. Obviously, we have our website online, which is pcrg.com. Get a lot of information on who we are and where we've come from and how we plan. And, we've got our little testimonials and reviews on there. But personally, you can reach me out on LinkedIn, just Sean Nicol, Nicol is how you spell the last name. But other than that, there's different avenues. I would, whether it's seeking out us at Pacific Capital or any advisor, I would encourage to get a second opinion, to do a review, especially if you're trying to make decisions for retirement, right? We're talking 30 plus years of your life that you're working so hard toward. Make sure that you get a review, whether it's by someone at Pacific Capital or it's someone else that you trust that's in the industry, but get a review to make sure that you're optimizing your plan, optimizing what you're doing, not just for retirement income and making sure you don't outlive your money, but tax efficiency is a huge one. So pcrg.com, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. At a minimum, go find a financial professional that you trust to at least have a review.
Awesome. Well, hey, Sean, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background and all the great work you're doing over at Pacific Capital Resource Group. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, do all those great things we do to support our podcasters. I really do appreciate it. And Sean, thanks again for coming on the show.